All right, hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. So today we're going to be adding this new enemy to the game. This is an enemy that I'm calling the Gnome. It doesn't really look much like a gnome, but it's fine. I think it's all right. And so the idea of this enemy is that he, she, it, whatever it is going to shoot a bullet from the top of the staff here, and then that bullet is going to have a spiral pattern, so it's going to move in the direction of the player. Maybe it will follow the player. I haven't decided yet exactly what it's going to do, but I do know that I want it to spiral, so it's going to be moving in a circle as it's going down to the player. And I think that's going to be basically it for this enemy's attack. I think it'll be really interesting, so we'll see. Again, the goal for this third level is to fill it with enemies that have more difficult attack patterns. So, you know, the third level, we've already done the stalagmite crab, which is pretty cool. It's a cave-based level, so we're trying to keep the enemies kind of dingy and, you know, fitting with the cave theme. And so that's kind of what we're doing. Let me see. Close that. I guess I'm a little bit unprepared here, but anyway, so we're going to be implementing that enemy. It shouldn't take all stream. I don't know, maybe we got to do some animation work on the enemy. So, but yeah, again, as a reminder, we are in the final stretch of Gunforged here. It should be out in a couple of months. Got to finish up the content for the game, and that's basically all that I'm focused on right now. And then after the content is done, we'll just be finalizing some things, adding that final layer of icing, and then it will be available for everyone. So before I get into the work today, I want to remind everyone also that I've got my Udemy courses linked below. That's a great way to support me financially and a great way to kickstart your Godot learning journey if you'd like to learn how to make a complete game in the Godot engine. Also, you can wishlist this game Gunforged on Steam. The link for that is in the description below as well. And you could sign up for my newsletter at firebelly.com. Probably will not be sending out a newsletter update this week, but will write one next week. And I just generally, those are like little blog posts that I write that get straight to your inbox. It's a couple paragraphs where I basically just say, here's what I'm working on, here's the direction that Gunforged is currently taking, you know, here's some interesting screenshots, that kind of thing. So if you're interested, you can sign up for that as well. Okay, with all that out of the way, hello Emerson, welcome back. I am doing well. How are you doing? Hello Felipe, welcome back. Good to see you again. Xynoblide. What's up, man? Not much. What's up with you? Welcome back to the stream. That's looking good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with how it's turned out. I did a little bit of doodling last night in the evening of Christmas Day. Hello, Defective. Welcome. Or Defective. I keep saying Defective. Defected. Hello and good morning. Good morning to you as well. All right. I swear I'm not trying to say that on purpose. I don't know why. I guess defective just rolls off my tongue automatically for some reason. But apologies for getting that wrong again. Okay. So I've already got the enemy kind of hooked up. So I kind of already did, at least I remembered, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what is your profile picture, by the way? Is that a custom thing, or is that, it almost looks like it's from like a 90s cartoon. I'm trying to think. Like, it's kind of like, anyone ever watch Cow and Chicken? It's kind of got like a Cow and Chicken style almost. Maybe it's actually from a cartoon and I don't know what it is, but it's a custom thing. It's the MC to my game, One Pissed Off Bear. Okay, I got you. It definitely has, does everyone agree? It definitely has like a 90s kind of like cartoon style, which is great. I love that. Hello, D-Rose Game Dev. Welcome. Good morning to you as well. 100%, yeah, exactly. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Keith. All right, so I've already set up this gnome here. Sick, thanks. I was going for that. Oh, perfect. You nailed it. There you go. All right, so, yeah. Yeah, so I've already hooked up this gnome. I've cut it. I'm going to call it a she. Let's just call it a she. This is a little female gnome witch thing. Okay, so it's a she. She's got her hand back here cut up so I can animate that separately and get the layers all right. I've got the body here, and then the head, of course, and then the hand. I don't think I'm going to do that much with respect to animation on this, but I do need a run animation. I'm kind of tired of doing animations at this point, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the gameplay scripting first and then add the animations in later. That should be fine, because what I'm really interested in, the thing that's going to be interesting about this enemy is getting that bullet to spiral. So that's really what I'm interested in doing. So let's go ahead and set up everything first, and then we'll go ahead and get that going. And I also haven't added any of the necessary components here, because again, I don't really feel like doing that right now. It'll probably get done this stream, but I'm more interested in that bullet, like I said, so that's what I'm going to focus on first. It's kind of the nice thing about this is like I can just do things in any order that I want. All right, so we got to put that in the entity namespace. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So the gnome, I need to set up private delegate state machine, private state normal. And we're going to do something private void state normal. Oh goodness, I already forgot how to write code. I'm going to add that state normal to the state machine and then set the initial state to state normal as well. Cool. Alrighty. Alrighty. So in this state normal, I actually want to get a reference to a timer as well. Node private timer bullet attack timer. Okay, so if bullet attack timer dot is stopped, then we're gonna shoot. Shoot. Okay, let's create a method for that. Private void shoot. And before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and add that timer. Make it a random timer. And we'll do anywhere between, maybe we'll make this one shoot a little bit faster. 1.5 and 2.25. That sounds good to me. Okay, so anytime that timer is stopped, and I'm gonna auto start this as well, and this needs to be renamed to bullet attack timer. Timer. One shot, no. Auto start, yes. Yeah, let's do one shot actually. Because then we'll just do, we'll call that timer again. so bullet attack timer.call start random. There we go. All right. I created a state machine in GD script for my project and was heavily inspired by your delegate state machine. Can I include your license on my project and use it in my game? If you, yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I don't really, you don't have to do a license or anything. I just chose the MIT license. It's the most permissive one, but you don't need to credit me or anything. It's, you know, it's open and available for you to use. So you can if you'd like to, but you can just go ahead and use it, even if you don't include the proper license or whatever. I think a lot of the license stuff is kind of dumb, if you ask me. Obviously, I agree that creators should retain the copyrights to their stuff, but if I put something out there that's public and MIT licensed, like I don't care. You use it however you want. You don't need to give me credit or anything. You could go around claiming that it's yours if you want to. But I appreciate the question, Emerson. Yeah, I'm just not a stickler about those kind of things. Okay, so let's see. So shoot. I need an enemy bullet. Ooh, I'm actually going to need to create a new bullet scene because I think I need to write a bullet travel definition, which I haven't done in a very long time. Bullet travel definition. So enemy tracking travel definition, orbit travel definition, wander travel definition. I probably want to spiral. So the way that these definitions work, these are essentially nodes that I can add to the bullet that will allow me to hook into the bullet's movement code and actually modify it. And I've only got a couple of these things. I've got orbit. What does orbit do? Where is this being used? Banana bullet. Maybe I can just use this. Can I just use the orbit? Oh, interesting. I may not even need to write any new code here. What if bullets were tops? Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Maybe not for this enemy, but for a different enemy, I could see that working. I think for this enemy, I'm just going to make it like a little arrow or something. Because again, I have to make all the enemy bullets like they have to be bright red, just so that the visual language is coherent, you know. Let's see. I'm actually going to just duplicate this. Duplicate. Let's do enemy spiral bullet, I guess. Duplicate. Enemy spiral bullet. I'm going to get rid of this animation player. Make this unique. Copy this. Paste it there. Whoops. Paste it there. Okay, visuals, sprite, and additive light 2D. So I'm going to need those things. I'll keep those things there, though. I think it would be good to give credit, or fair to give credit. Your content is very good and helps a lot. Yeah, if you want to, go ahead and do that. Yeah. I'm not opposed either way. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. So I've got the enemy spiral bullet. I need to instantiate that orbit travel definition. I hope this works the way that I think it's going to work. Strength and degree. How does this actually work? So this takes the steady direction of the bullet. So that's the direction that the bullet wants to go. And then it's adding the degrees. It's doing something here. mathf.cosine deg to rad times strength, direction, vector 2. Oh, I see. I see. So it's basically just taking a vector 2 with the x direction only. And then I don't know what this orthogonal is doing, actually. Well, we'll just see if it works. I'm assuming it works to some degree, but so let's say strength is, let's do 150. I don't know what that's going to do. Degree rate, let's make it do a full spin in a second. So hopefully that will work. So now in the Gnome here, I need to add a resource preloader and then put that enemy spiral bullet in there. Let's grab a reference to that node. Resource preloader. And then in shoot, we're going to want to do this. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, let's see. Hand back, hand front. So I need a marker 2D here. And that's going to need to be in the center of the crystal that's right here. Okay, bullet spawn position. Lots of setup to do here. But let's get a reference to that. Private marker 2D bullet spawn position. Okay, so now I'm going to steal from my crab. I should really have like a method that can easily spawn these things for me. But oh well. Enemy spiral bullet. This is going to be the bullet global position. Is going to be the bullet spawn position dot global position. Okay, we need the player direction. Okay, bullet dot initialize stats player direction. All right, that should basically be it there. So let's go ahead and see how that works. I'm sure something will go wrong here, but we'll see. A toy maker boss would be pretty sick. He could spit the tops, yeah, or spin, yeah. I think that would be cool. A toy maker boss. I have a one boss in mind for this level. The boss is going to be Nakey the Mole Rat. And it's going to be exactly how it sounds. It's going to be a naked mole rat boss, maybe with some like miner gear and stuff like that. I wonder if I could take the top idea and just change it thematically a little bit, like have those drills that you often see in sort of mining context. But anyway, let's see what happens. Okay, nothing is happening. And the reason nothing is happening is because I forgot override void process. Forgot to call state machine.update here. All right, let's try it again. Spawn gnome. Oh, I got a bunch of errors here. Object reference not set to instance of object. Oh, I never set this to new. Okay. We'll get there eventually. 1 second. Alrighty. Gnome. Okay, that is not that is not doing exactly what I want it to do, because it's just going up and down rather than spiraling. Let's see. So that's just going up and down like in a sine wave, but I want it to spiral. So the question is, do I make a new orbit travel definition? Or do I just set a flag in here that allows me to spiral? Okay, let me try this. Export private bool is spiral. So var y component is equal to 0. If is spiral, we're going to say y component. We're going to do this. Var radians is equal to that. Radians there times strength. If is spiral, we're going to say y component is equal to mathf.sine. And this is going to be radians. And then here, we'll go ahead and put that Y component times strength in there. So basically, if spiral is enabled, then it will go ahead and take the Y component as well. And I think that should be fine. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I'll build this. If an idea sparks another idea, I'm happy. I'm just all spitballing anyway. Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate that. Having ideas is great. My friend actually came up with a good idea for the Nakey mole rat. He was like, you should do like a pixelated sensor bar around his, you know, where his private parts would be. And I think that'd be so funny. So he's just like a naked mole rat with no clothes on and just have like a little pixelated sensor thing. That would be like The Sims, kind of. That would be so funny. Anyway, let's see. Enemy spiral bullet is spiral on. Cool. All right, let's do it. Okay, spawn gnome. Let's see if that works. Okay, that's kind of working. It's not precisely correct, though. Because it's fundamentally, it's manipulating the velocity, and it's not necessarily manipulating the, let's see, calculated additional velocity. What happens if I just change this to this is going to break it, but let me just try it. Calculated velocity is equal to dir times args dot current velocity dot length. What happens if I do that? Hello, Pragyan. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I like that idea much better than a black box, although that would work also. Yeah. I think the shader should be relatively simple to do on that, but we'll see. Okay, that's not working at all. Okay, so I think it's probably going to be better if I do indeed do a different bullet travel definition here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Scene, new scene. Spiral travel definition. And again, where is this at? View, shown file system. Scenes component bullet. Okay. Spiral travel definition. And I'm just going to go ahead and open that up. Script, create. Spiral travel definition. Okay, and then I'm going to actually discard what I did here for the orbit. So we'll put that back to normal. The spiral travel definition. So here, I need to actually figure out. So I've got a calculated velocity and a calculated additional velocity. So the calculated additional velocity was kind of working here. Args.additional velocity plus dir. But I also need to change the calculated velocity. So let me think about this. First, before I forget, let me delete this and instantiate, oops, not, yeah, no, that's right. Enemy spiral bullet. Let me delete this and instantiate the spiral bullet definition. Spiral travel definition, rather. I don't need this is spiral here anymore. I think what I need to do is actually slow the velocity. Because I still need it to move toward the player, but it needs to orbit around the point. I think what I need to do is change the velocity to some extent. Calculated velocity is equal to... And I have to design this in a way where the player could use the orbit velocity as well. Or like I could have a player gun that shoots spirals. Let me try this. I set the calculated velocity to dir. What does that do? I think that's the same thing that I literally just tried, but we're gonna have to figure this out. There's a lot of math going on here. If you slowed it down to the point where it would contact itself, maybe it would appear more spirally. Is that what you mean, contact? I think I need to slow, so there's like a couple of velocities happening here. There's a velocity that should determine the general direction that it's going, but then there's a velocity that manipulates the position of the bullet actually around that point. So I think what I need to do is, can I supply both of these things? I actually don't know how this works. Bullet component. So basically what it does in the process method is it loops over all the bullet travel definitions. It applies a travel update, which is this here with a bunch of arguments, and it will take the output calculated velocity of that, but then it will also add an additional velocity to it. So the calculated velocity do I have like a heading direction? What is the heading direction? Oh, do I not have that? Steady direction. What is the steady direction? Oh, steady direction. Current velocity dot normalized. Spiral travel definition. Yeah, I think I need to slow down the steady direction as when it starts spiraling away. Or let's see. Do I need to do that? I mean, that's actually, let me think. Yeah, maybe if I just slowed down the bullet, generally speaking. So if I went to my Gnome here, stats dot speed, bullet speed is equal to 75. So if I turn that down there, maybe that will create more of a spiral. Or like you said, I can increase the amount of degrees that's happening here. Spawn Gnome. Oh, that's not working at all. What did I break? What did I break? Dir Y component, sine radians, apply travel update, calculated additional velocity. That's what I was doing. The orbit travel definition. Oh, I forgot to, yeah, oops. I just forgot to update this. Strength 150, degree rate 360. So I'm actually gonna try the other solution again. We'll see. Yeah, so I think what I want to do is that's basically working. It speeds up when it's going forward and it slows down when it's going backwards. And that's because, yeah, I think I should probably manipulate the actual velocity of the thing as well in accordance with, you know, what stage of the spiral it's in. So if it's moving forward, what is the strength here? Let me think about this for a second. So if I'm doing the velocity, I basically want the bullet moving at a constant rate in a certain direction while also spiraling. Yeah, I mean, that's what I need to do. I just don't know what the math looks like there. So let me draw what I'm thinking. So like, for instance, if the bullet is traveling in this direction, but it also needs to be like spiraling like this, what needs to happen, oops, why does middle mouse do that? What needs to happen is basically this vector that's pointing in this direction, it needs to shrink to something like this size. I mean, this is just an example, but this vector magnitude needs to shrink based on how the bullet is spiraling, and it also might need to point backwards, depending on where the bullet is spiraling as well. And that magnitude of that vector is essentially just going to be, it's going to be oscillating between a negative magnitude and a positive magnitude. So it's going to be constantly like swapping back and forth based on the position of the spiral. And this magnitude though is going to be on the same plane, right? Like this is like the heading direction of the bullet. That's the general direction the bullet's going, but the bullet moving in that direction, the magnitude at which it moves every frame needs to be adjusted based on the bullet's position along the circle of the spiral. So I think what I could do, I mean, I think it's a relatively trivial thing. I think it's a relatively trivial thing if I was moving perfectly horizontally, right? Because then I could just say, you know, if the bullet's up here, that's not a good color. Yellow's not a good color, is it? If the bullet is traveling this way and the bullet's up here, then I wonder if simply modifying the forward vector to be the x component of that vector. So if I say, okay, this is where the bullet is, but this is where it wants to go. It wants to go that way, and it's right here in its rotation. Yeah, it's going to have to be something like that. It might actually need to be flipped this way. It depends on which direction the bullet is rotating. If the bullet is rotating this way, right, if it's rotating clockwise, then I might need to apply a negative movement vector to kind of pull it back, because it's going to be, this bullet is going to be moving forward, right? So I need to like pull it back to slow it down. And then as it rotates this way, let's say the bullet comes here, then what I might need to do is then take that vector here to push it forward, right? There's got to be a simpler way to do this. But I mean, this is the trivial case, right? Obviously, if the bullet is not heading in a 0-degree direction, then all of that math needs to be rotated, which shouldn't be a problem, but it's just wrapping my head around this scenario here. Okay, so I guess I could just test that case, see if my intuition is correct here. I think what I could probably do is just force it to go to the right and then do the math in accordance with this. I know that the bullet is going clockwise, so I think what I'll do is I'll just take that x component of that vector and use that. Just wanted to say that you're doing a great job. I learn a lot from your live streams. Thank you, Lillipus. Appreciate that. Any reason why you're using C# instead of GDScript? No, it's just personal preference. I like the structure that comes with C#. I use a lot of abstract classes and I use some interfaces and stuff, so that just helps me keep my systems organized. Half-time life of the radius. but that changes as it grows. Yeah. If you're open to some AI assistance, I have something that might work. Really awesome to see the problem solving though. I might use AI for this. I don't know. I'm going to try to work through it myself. My math skills are not as strong as they should be, so this will be a good exercise for me, I think. So we've got the bullet steady direction, which I'm just going to force that to be to the right. So I'm just going to say vector 2.right here. So that's the direction the bullet's going to go. The bullet is going clockwise. So steady direction, degrees. So we are taking the degrees, converting it to radians. The Y component here, let's just grab the X component as a separate thing as well. Math cosine. Okay. So, and then what I'm doing is what is this direction here? Oh, I'm taking the X component and the Y component of the rotation. So if the bullet is here, so basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this X component. Oh my gosh, this is becoming very sloppy. X component there, and then the Y component here. And that's how I'm getting, I guess, that direction. I'm multiplying that by the strength. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. But basically what this is doing is this is getting the direction to where the bullet should be here. And then, what is it doing? dir.rotated steady direction.angle. So then it's rotating that whole system by the overall direction that the bullet wants to go. And then it's taking a right angle. Why is it doing the right angle? dir.rotated steady direction.angle.orthogonal. I don't know if orthogonal should be there. Yeah, I think that was a problem. So if I just rotate the whole system by where the direction is or where the bullet is going, I want to see what difference that makes, and just check that I still need to be doing all this math. I don't think that orthogonal was appropriate. Okay, that's looking better. So it still speeds up when it's going forward. So I think, like I said, I think I need to apply some sort of additional negative velocity here. So what I need to do is, let's see, let's take, so I've got the X component. This direction has been rotated here. So let me think. So this strength, really, this should be called radius. So we'll rename that to radius. I'm gonna have to update that in the editor. Actually, I'm gonna do that now before I forget. So that needs to be called radius. And then I think what I can do is I know that there's a vector operation that you can do to clamp a vector along another vector. So what I basically need to do is I need to get this green line in here. So if this orange line is pointing to where the bullet is going to be on the circle, what I need is I need this vector here, which is basically just the X component, but going in the steady direction. I think I can do that easily, and then I need to negate it based on... Do I need to negate it? I think I do need to negate it. Just generally speaking, I need to negate it. Well, let me think before well, let's see. I'm going to lose this train of thought, and I'm going to have to rethink it all over again. That's fine. Oops. I don't want to change it there. Enemy spiral bullet radius 150. Okay. So I've got the X component already, but the problem is that that needs to be rotated. So let's see, var adjusted. Let me think. Well, I'm trying this with just... Yeah, I mean, I've got the X component, so let's do this. Var adjustment vector. The adjustment vector is going to be... It's just going to be the X component. So it's going to be new vector 2 X component times radius 0 adjustment vector equals adjustment vector dot rotated steady direction dot angle. And this is going to be negative new vector 2. Well, let me think. I'll just put the negative here. So that's the adjustment vector. So this is plus dir plus adjustment vector. So again, what that's basically doing is that's taking the x component, which is going to be along the direction here, and then it's going to take that x. It's going to take this green arrow here. I don't know if you can see my cursor very well, but that green arrow that's circled in red, then it's going to rotate it by the overall direction of the system, and then negate it, so it's pushing in the opposite direction. Although this steady direction is wrong, this adjust... Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, this is probably not going to work. I'm probably doing something wrong, but let's find out. My brain doesn't think in the context of math. Mine thinks in terms of visuals. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to visualize it first, then try to work backwards to the math. Okay, let's see. That is not working. I'm going to try not negating it. And then let's see. Any tips for people that are starting in game dev with Godot? Yeah, I think just, look up some tutorials, read the documentation. Do you have programming experience? If you have programming experience, then what you should be able to do is just... That's not working at all. What you should be able to do is you should be able to just, read the documentation, follow some GDScript tutorials on YouTube, and just try to make something. There's a lot of great resources, so I would start probably with the free stuff on YouTube. And then if you're interested, you can check out my Udemy courses, but I think that those require a little bit of programming knowledge. So I think get familiar with some programming first if you're not, and then you can, again, try the free resources on YouTube and then maybe consider my courses. Would normalized be enough? I don't think so, because the system has speeds associated with it, so I need to be working with the magnitudes as well. Hello, Azir, wherever you are. I'm sure you're close. Yeah, he's right. He's literally like, what is that? 3 feet away from me on the couch, or the chair. I have programming knowledge. Cool, yeah, so you should be able to pick up GDScript just fine. And then, there's a lot of great, like I said, Godot tutorials out there free to start, but if you want something comprehensive, I think I would point you in the direction of my course if you're interested in purchasing that. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing? I did have a good Christmas, thank you. Sounds like you need to make a beginner course. Don't have to send people away to other videos? Yeah, I mean, I think the reason I did a more intermediate level course is because I identified a niche that wasn't being filled. There are a lot of beginner courses on Udemy and other places, and I figured, well, maybe I should make something that's more focused toward intermediate developers that kind of goes a little bit deeper into a lot of the work, or a lot of the work that goes into making a complete game. So that's kind of like the niche that I'm occupying in Udemy. There's less competition there. You could dominate that niche too. Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. I think that it would do well. Don't get me wrong. But you have to keep in mind too that when I produced at least the first couple courses, I didn't think that they were going to be as popular as they were. So now that I've built, I guess, some brand recognition, you can say I think I could do well with a beginner course for sure. So I did everything wrong, and it's not working. And why is that? This adjustment vector, it shouldn't be times radius, I don't think. I think it needs to be times args dot bullet component dot. Do I have just like the normal bullet speed here? Current velocity. I don't think I want current velocity though, do I? I need like the steady direction times the bullet speed. Steady direction, accumulated velocity, direction, steady direction. I need the bullet speed. So if I do, instead of multiplying args.bulletComponent.gunStats.bullet speed. So instead of multiplying by the strength, so I was multiplying by the radius before, but I think this vector actually needs to be multiplied by the bullet speed instead. And I do believe that this does need to be negative. I'm pretty sure I'm close, I think. I just need to get the numbers right. I think I just need to get the numbers right. And then once I got the numbers right, everything will be hunky-dory, as they say. That is still not correct. Why is that still not correct? Don't make me write a bunch of visualizations, please. Why does it look like it's going a different way every time? Okay, I'm going to turn on... Let's do this. In my void level, or void arena, I'm going to turn off debug do not start wave. Yeah, that's not working at all. Also, why is it taking a different path every time? That's not right at all. Additional velocity dir plus adjustment vector. Rotated steady direction at angle. X component, let's see. Maybe this does need to be times the radius. Radius. Adjustment vector, rotated steady direction dot angle. Oh, do I need to subtract these things? Let me think. Let's try that. Bullet speed, I guess. Steady direction times args.bulletComponent.gunStats.bullet speed. So that's going to give me the sort of the natural direction that the bullet wants to go, and then I need to do maybe bullet speed minus that. We're just playing with numbers now. We're just playing with numbers. We're going to see. So an origin point that goes straight, the orb oscillates around the origin point. If the origin has no speed, you have a circle. If you speed up origin, you have spiral. Yeah. So the only speed the orb needs is the oscillating speed. Is that how you set it up now? Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Right now, it's not a perfect spiral. What it looks like when it's traveling is it's like an extended spring, kind of. Because the problem is that the origin point, you're correct, the origin point is moving at a constant speed, but as the bullet like rotates behind the origin point, it looks like it slows down as an overall system, right? It looks like the origin point is slowing down when it's not. So the idea is that I want the entirety of the system to look like it's moving at a constant speed while the bullet orbits. Now, I could accomplish this, I think, relatively easily by force setting the bullet position, but I don't think that's going to work with the rest of the bullet systems that I have in the game. So that's the main problem here. Okay, we've got a sign movement here. So let's flip that sign around. Or let's flip this operation around. Maybe just a different shape for the bullets. Yeah, the bullets are going to have a different shape. I haven't gotten around to drawing them yet, but... Okay. That's not right either. What the heck? I mean, if I get rid of the adjustment vector here... Calculated velocity, what if I change this to adjustment vector? Hello, Snupbill. Thank you so much for the IDR 10,000 super chat again with the message Yummers. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, Snupbill. Very generous. And welcome back to the stream. Oh, that's interesting. What is going on there? Huh. Very cool. I'm just going to remove this and examine what I had before again. I knew that this was going to be tricksy. So, I mean, that's and the other thing that's bothering me is that sometimes it looks like it's going up and away in a different direction. I think I need an entirely different approach to this. Interesting. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try a different approach here. First, I do want to try... Oops. Just reversing this real quick. I'm just curious to see what this does. I have no predictions as to what this is gonna do, but let's see. Is the spawn point of the orb within the origin random? It is not. No, that's why I'm interested to know why it looks random. Whoop. Oh, that's really interesting. I have no clue what I just did there. Okay, I'm gonna try an entirely different approach here. I might just start from the top. I might redo this. Are the orbs starting with the exact same state? Yes, they should be. If the initial state is slightly different, it will cause large deviations. It might be that. I mean, it might just be that it's not like rock solid code, and so there are slight deviations. Hello, Jasper. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. It should start at 0 every time, yeah. Oh no, it is randomizing it. Oh no, there's a random right here. Look at that. I should get rid of that. Should look at my own code before speaking, I suppose. So that would fix that problem, but that doesn't fix the overall problem, which is that it's not correct at all. So the joys of game dev. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna work on this all day. If it takes me 4 hours to get this done, then so be it. Okay, so that's at least operating predictably now. The problem is that it's deviating a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna try something else here. So the steady direction of the bullet shouldn't really be changing, I don't think. Or no, should it? Oh, you know what? I think I'm actually missing some information that I need. Steady direction. So the steady direction is just the velocity of the direction of the current velocity, but the current velocity is being manipulated. So initialize vector to direction, normalized. So I think what I need, I probably actually need to store the initial direction here. I don't think I can use the steady direction. Oh wait, oh man. No, it's not using... It's not actually changing the current velocity, actually, so it should be fine. So the only thing that's changing in here is the additional velocity, and that is being used to, as like what it sounds like, it's being added to the velocity. So if the calculated additional velocity is not equal to null, it's adding that to the additional velocity here. And then when I'm calling move and collide, which is what moves the bullet, it's using this accumulated velocity, which is a property that just adds the current velocity plus the additional velocity. So this current velocity is never being manipulated unless I can manipulate the current velocity if I were to return a calculated velocity here. That would actually overwrite the current velocity. So I don't want to do that. I want to use purely additional velocity, and I think that that's going to be fine. And I have to take in this arg's additional velocity because there could be multiple bullet components or bullet travel definitions that are working together. So I can't just clobber any others. So that's where this arg's additional velocity is coming in. In this case, this will always be 0. So basically, I'm just using this direction here. I'm just going to call this direction. Don't want to shorten my names. What is that? Low class behavior. Anyway, so let's see. Y component. I wonder what happens if Y component times radius. Bullet speed is steady direction times bullet speed. Y component times radius. I feel like I'm close with this adjustment vector. Adjustment steady direction times... This is wrong. Get rid of that. The adjustment vector rotated minus bullet speed. We're going to get rid of this for now. I'm going to fix this later, but I'm just going to do bullet speed. Well, I guess I can just copy this. So let's see. I think what I actually need to do is that. This should be negative, I believe. I think this math is right. What I drew here is right. I think I'm just not doing it correctly in the code. So I'm just going to take the x component. This is going to be a number of 1 or less than 1. Well, I guess it's going to be anywhere from -1 to 1. And then what I'm doing is I'm rotating it by the overall direction of the system and then multiplying by the bullet speed and then negating it. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm saying, yeah, take the bullet speed, but multiply it by the component, the x component, according to where the bullet is on the current rotation. Because what will happen ultimately then is if my entire system is going this way with this magnitude, and then the bullet ends up right here, so that's at 1, right? What I'm trying to say is then construct a vector of equal magnitude in this case that points in the opposite direction, which essentially means that the bullet should have no forward momentum at this point. In other words, since it's at the end of its clockwise rotation, this should be the peak of its x velocity, or the trough, I guess, the minimum point of its overall x velocity. And then as it returns this way, let's say it goes halfway down the rotation here, this will have a 0x component, right? Because if we take that vector, that green vector here, that's going to have an x component of 0, which means that the adjustment vector is going to be 0. So then if I go ahead and add that adjustment vector here, maybe that's going to work. So it's going to be 0 at this point, which means that it's going full speed ahead in the direction that it's heading. And let's just take this again. So if I rotate again all the way over here, the x component here is going to be -1, right? Which means that it's going to construct a vector that points 100% in the direction the system needs to go. So this may be backwards, but let's see if that works. I did well in my finals, but I feel lazy now. Hey, you deserve a break, ice cream. You deserve a break. Finals suck. I'm so glad I'm not in school anymore. I'm never going to school again. You can't make me. Okay, so that's not working. And if I flip the sign, it's not going to work either, right? I accidentally deleted my last messages and think it deleted everything I said. Oh yeah, none of your messages are here anymore. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't read your last message. I don't know if you want to type it again or what. So I guess my feeling about this is just entirely wrong. Yeah, it must just be entirely wrong. Do I need to account for the radius as well? Let me try this. I think my radius is 150 and my speed is 75. So I'm going to try this. This should set this equal to the radius. That's probably going to speed it up in an undesirable way, and then I'm going to try dividing by 2. I'm just going to see. I'm just going to play with things and see what happens. See what revelations come to me. This would indeed be a lot easier if I could just forcibly set the bullet position. Okay, so that's not working. Let's do that. This isn't going to work either. That creates a much larger spiral, so that's not what I want. In the gatekeepers fight, you have the spiral bullet pattern. How did you do that? I don't know what you're referring to. The gatekeepers fight? Gravekeeper. Oh, the mausoleum magnate. That's easier because I'm just setting the positions directly. This is different because I'm trying to manipulate the bullet's velocity, its frame by frame velocity, such that it produces a spiral movement pattern. If I could just, like I said, if I could just set the bullet position every frame, this would be a lot easier, but I can't do that. Merry Christmas, a little bit late. Well, thank you, Luca, I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you as well. And if you create some points up to the player and make it rotate around those points. I'm not sure what you mean, Dione. Welcome to the stream, though. Okay, this is just not working at all. What is not working? Is my logic just flawed here? I guess it is. Unless my math is still wrong, but I don't think it is. What happens if I multiply by radius here instead? We'll struggle through it. Yeah, it's doing an oval, and it's doing an oval because it's being stretched because of the forward velocity. That's a sine wave. This is not going to work. I might have to write some drawing. Yeah. Okay, this is not working at all. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Wonder if I can do something hacky here. Let me try something. So we do want this for sure. Var direction is equal to. I'm just going to do this. Vector2.right.rotated radians. Don't need that x component, y component anymore. I'm going to say var desired velocity is equal to, we're going to say the desired velocity, we're going to do, let's see. args dot bullet component dot global position dot direction to, no, not direction to, desired velocity global position minus, now we're going to set a position, or no, let's see, var target position on circle is equal to args dot bullet component dot global position plus direction times radius. Okay. The desired velocity then is going to be that target position on circle minus the args global position divided by var delta float get processed delta time, so divided by delta. So why am I dividing by delta? Basically what I'm doing, or do I want to multiply by delta? I think I want to multiply. No. Divide, I think, right? Yeah, divide. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm saying, okay, here's the target position on the circle that I want it to be at. And then I'm setting up a desired velocity such that I'm dividing by delta here such that when it gets remultiplied by delta, I get this exact distance. So this is going to be a distance of potentially many pixels, but usually on a frame by frame basis, it's going to be less than a pixel. And so what I'm saying is I want to move that exact distance during the frame so that it is exactly placed on the circle. And that's why I'm dividing by delta, because later on when in the process method here, that's going to get multiplied by delta here. And so what that ought to do is that ought to basically just move it that amount of pixels that's required to place it exactly on that circle. So that's what this is doing here. This is constructing a vector that points from the bullet global position to the bullet's desired position, dividing by delta so that when we re-multiply by delta, we get the exact distance. And then I'm just going to put that direction or that desired velocity down here. This is still, I think, going to produce an oval shape, but I think it's going to look much nicer. Also, why global position? It's just easier to think in global position, I think. Oh, that's not working at all. Maybe I shouldn't divide by delta? What happens if I just get rid of that? I thought that would work, unless I'm doing something else wrong here. Target plus direction times radius. I mean, I don't know about you, but that does not look like a 150 pixel radius, which is what I have configured. I'm just going to print it. I might need to step through this code. Why is that not working? I was so sure that was going to work. All right, well, we're just stumbling through this. This will be fine. So it's setting up these massive numbers, which is fine. But then when it gets multiplied by delta again, it should work. Additional velocity, calculated additional velocity, accumulated velocity, times delta, right? We're gonna get there, yeah. Can you draw the ultimate pattern you're looking for so I can make sure I'm on the same page? I mean, yeah, basically all I'm doing is I'm trying to simplify this. I'm basically just trying to make it now so that if I'm going in this direction, I'm identifying points along a circle. And then I'm basically saying, okay, like if this is where the bullet is supposed to be, but then this is where the bullet, let's say the bullet's here, right? And this is where the bullet is supposed to be. What I'm essentially doing is I'm saying, okay, get a vector pointing in that direction. So from where the bullet is to where it's supposed to be. And then this direction is basically just going to be used. I'm gonna work out the math of the velocity such that when it moves during that frame, it goes directly to that point. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. So I can get it nice and working circularly, but that's not working either. So there's something weird going on here. I don't know exactly what. So we're taking the bullet's global position. Target position on circle. Oh, maybe that's it. Times plus direction times radius. So I want to use the origin position, or the position that it should be going along. Oh, that's... I don't think I have that. So yeah. Well, do I have that? Yeah, I guess this is not going to work. Direction. Rotated degrees. Right, so this direction is in relation to where the center point of the circle is. So I think that's where I'm going wrong. So this is in relation to where the center point of the circle is, but this is not necessarily... Yeah, and I'm basing it around the global position of the bullet. So that shouldn't happen. It needs to be based around the global position of like the center of the system, which I don't think I have enough information to do that. I mean, I guess I could take the bullet's current position and... So take the steady direction, get the perpendicular vector multiplied by 150, but I still don't have positional data. The steady direction is just a direction. It doesn't have any position associated with it. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. What if I use the animation tree? I can't. My bullet code relies on velocities. Yeah, I mean, there are multiple easier ways of creating a spiral movement pattern. The problem is none of those easy ways work with the way that I've set up the code. Okay, let me think. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I have the required data to do this. I mean, what I can do is I can take this direction here. Var origin position is equal to args.bullet component.global position minus direction times radius. So I could kind of like try to offset it. So there's the origin position. The problem is that, I mean, that's just not going to work. I honestly don't think I have enough data to actually do this. Unless I do this first. Rotated degrees. So if I set the origin position here before I increment the degrees, then I set the new direction here. So then the target position on circle is going to be the origin direction now. Origin position. So I'm basically, I don't think this is going to work, but basically what I'm doing is I'm assuming the origin position is going to be radius units away in the opposite direction according to the current degree rotation, and 150 units or radius units away from the current bullet global position. And then I'm going to increment the degrees here in accordance with delta, and then that's going to set up a new target position on the circle, which I can then use to set the desired velocity. Let's see if that works. If the orb has 5 speeds, now moving at 10 speed, yeah. So in order to keep the speed of the orbit a consistent 5, what must happen? 5 is arbitrary, just an example. Yeah, I mean, that's the general problem. I think right now I'm just trying to get it to do a nice movement pattern. Okay. Okay. So does that look like 150 pixels? I think it does. What happens if I just tighten this up a little bit? Enemy spiral bullet, 32. So 32, for context, is the width of a tile, a width and height of the tile. So it should be doing roughly a tile-sized circle motion. Okay, so it's spiraling now, I think, in a reasonable manner. So now we have to address the problem that you are mentioning, Defected, which is that it speeds up. Because basically what's happening is that it's got a forward velocity when it's going counterclockwise on the top half of the circle. And it's got a negative velocity. So the velocities are being added up, right? So if it's got a forward x velocity at the top of the circle, that's being added to the overall velocity of the system, which makes it look like it speeds up. And the opposite is true if it's got a negative velocity, so or negative x. Or is it the right half of the circle? I wonder what happens if I just... Oh boy, if I just do this. Let's see, desired velocity. New vector 2. Desired velocity dot x 0 dot rotated steady direction dot angle. Plus adjustment velocity. I do need an adjustment velocity in there. I just don't think that's going to work. We'll see. So if orb is on the left side of the origin point, no speed on orb. If on right, no speed. Well, I mean, the speeds are different though, right? Because it's rotating the circle at a different rate than how the overall system is moving. So it's not as simple as just like doubling. It actually needs to be like a precise calculation. I mean, I guess maybe in your example with the 5 and 10, it would make sense. Nope, that's not working. Why is this not working? Oh my goodness, this is going to drive me mad. Adjustment velocity. It's got to be plus the bullet speed, I think. It's got to be some kind of relationship between the bullet speed, which is the overall speed of the system, and the x velocity that's coming as a result of the bullet rotation. It's got to be a relationship between those two numbers. It's got to be some kind of like difference adjustment, right? I can create very nice sine waves here, apparently, but... not so much anything else. Hello, Pocket Pixie. Welcome, welcome. Is the orb global also per local to the origin point? Well, that's the problem. It's like there is no origin point. Like the system doesn't have an origin point. The origin point is wherever the bullet currently is on screen. It's not like the bullet is being offset from some kind of origin in the game that's easily referenceable. Okay, well that's not right. I mean, that's close. I'm able to get the X movement completely halted. Let's do this. I'm just playing with numbers now. I'm not even going to make an attempt to reason about them. We're just going to see if it works. Okay, now it's moving backwards. Interesting. I think I'm close here. I wonder why this doesn't work. I'm gonna divide by 2. We always divide by 2 in a when in doubt. I'm imagining the point is a 2D node for some reason. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, all of this stuff is very abstract here. It's not, doesn't have a concrete representation in the engine. Okay. That's so weird. I wonder why this isn't working. Oh, you know what? This bullet speed. Oh, you know what? I think my math is right, but I think this var, I think this bullet speed also needs to be divided by delta. I'm just going to call it test. Because this number is coming from this, which was divided by delta. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try it. Call that variable test because it's probably going to be deleted. There's got to be something easy about this that I'm missing. Oh. Now it's just shooting forward. Okay, that's definitely not working. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Let's do this. Var adjusted desired velocity. So we'll do the divided by delta version there, and then this here, args.bullet component dot bullet gun stats dot bullet speed. I mean, is that going to be right? I think. I don't think so. I don't think so. Desired velocity. No, this is not right. No, I need to take. It's not the desired velocity that I want. It's the direction times radius. It's this. This desired velocity is just to get the bullet to move to the exact point on the circle. But what I'm interested in terms of adjusting the overall speed of the system is I'm interested in like where is this direction times radius pointing to? So far, yeah, I'm gonna just multiply by radius here. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. So that's gonna give me the actual magnitude now. And then this is the desired velocity again. All right, let's see if that works. Hydrate, yes. I actually need to go get a drink, but I'm too engrossed in this. I was hoping to have this creature done, but as is usual, I got set back by technical issues. And again, we're going to play with the signs and stuff and see what happens. I really am not sure why this is not working. It's very much annoying me. Okay, all right, so we got it to rotate around a non-moving point. That's close. This is going to accelerate it. Yeah, that's accelerating it a lot. So why is negative direction.x plus that not working? Coffee has water. Yeah, that's true. Why is that not working? Why is that not working? I don't understand. Negative direction dot x. This should have like a very big magnitude. Args bullet component. I really don't understand. I tried negative minus, right? And this is all being rotated by the steady direction. The adjustment velocity. Yeah, I can get it to like, I can get it to rotate in a circle at around a fixed point. So that must mean that negative direction dot x minus bullet speed What in the world is even going on right now? Is this even doing what I think it's doing? Can you get it to slow down and speed up with the origin fixed? You mean like have no overall system speed? Trying to build a wavegun bullet that follows a standard sine wave with amplitude and frequency defined by a variable and moving forward at a set rate. Close. I can do the sine wave. That part's easy. What I'm trying to do is make it move in a spiral, like a circle, but not have the bullet look like it's slowing down and speeding up as it's moving around the origin point. So that means that the origin point's speed needs to be variable based on how fast the bullet is rotating around the circle. Oh, is it one of those dumb things? So you can see here that it's oscillating between 32 and negative 32. At least, yeah. So that's correct. So there's an overall bullet speed. Am I wrong in saying that what I should do is just subtract the adjustment velocity? Oh, do I not want to... Maybe I don't want the... Because the bullet speed is already part of the velocity of the system. So adding the bullet speed in again is causing problems. So I definitely don't want to do that. But for some reason, it seems like when I add just the negative x, it still looks like it's speeding up. Maybe I need the diameter instead of the radius. I don't know. Let's multiply by 2. Like I said, when in doubt, multiply by 2. If speed set to 0, if that means no speed, then yeah, I guess. Yeah, I should try that. I want to break physics. Got it, yeah. Trying to wrap my head around how you're setting this up. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit complicated to explain, but I think... Nope, that makes it worse. Okay, well, let's do what you suggested. Let's set the speed to 0. Now, if I set the speed to 0, interesting. Let's see what happens. I think it's gonna break. Maybe? Is it gonna break? No, setting the speed to 0 works just fine. Although that doesn't look like a circle, does it? It looks like an oval. All right, let's just set the that adjustment velocity to 0, and let's see if I just get a perfect circular motion here. Okay, so that looks correct with 0 speed. That looks like a circle, which is what I'd expect. So now if I give it back a speed, I wonder if I should just not worry about it. But I would really like it to be just like a nice, consistent, moving circle. Maybe that's not. Yeah. Interesting. Is this even possible to do what I want to do? It should be, right? I don't know. It does look like a bit like an oval. Couldn't tell if the speeds of the orb were varying. I think they were. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. All right, I need to go get some more water. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. But in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. That's all the ways that you can support me. You can wishlist Gunforged if you're interested, which is the game that I'm currently making. So I am going to, like I said, get some water. And when I come back, we're going to continue banging our heads against this brick wall until either it breaks or until my head breaks. So anyway, I'll be right back. All right, I think I had an epiphany, but maybe not. I don't know. I thought I had an epiphany while I was away, and then like 15 seconds before I came back to my seat, I was like, wait a minute, I don't know if that's going to work. but we're going to try it. We're going to try it. It's 100% doing a circle around the origin point. It's just that it needs to slow down and speed up as it moves around the point. Yeah, exactly. I'm in React.js and it's just not working. I'm saying the same things out loud. Yeah. Welcome, Ronenga. Good to see you. I was making a space shooter game once and I wanted to do something like this for an enemy. Did you end up figuring it out, or was it not working? Okay, so I think the epiphany that I had, let's see, hold on. If you had a point that represented the path of the bullet in the center of the circular path for the actual bullet, you can move that point and find the angle between the bullet and its center. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. It's not as nice as that, but yeah, I think that's basically what I'm doing here. So the epiphany I had was that I shouldn't be putting the negative direction and .x in there. This should always be positive, then I should rotate it, then I should negate it. So basically, you know, look, what I'm trying to achieve here is if I've got, I'm just gonna, new, don't save. So if my bullet is going in this direction and we are, like, let's say this point is where the bullet is along a circle. What I essentially want to do is I'm trying to take this green vector, this green vector, which is the X component that the bullet is along that radius. And the problem is that this is additional velocity that's being added to the bullet. And so what ends up happening is that if this red vector represents the overall velocity of the system, when the bullet is moving in such a way, it is having that additional green velocity added to it. And that's what's causing the speed up, I believe. And so what I need to do is I essentially just need to take this green vector here and negate it. So remove it from the steady direction. I think that's what I was trying to do, but I was doing the math wrong, where I was putting the negation inside of the vector and then rotating it, which is not going to produce the correct result. So what I want to do instead is I want to rotate this vector, so take that direction.x, right? Rotate it in conjunction with the actual direction of the system, and then subtract and then negate it. So that when I add it to this velocity chain down here, what it's essentially going to do is just removing a chunk of the steady velocity in accordance with how fast the bullet is moving around the curve. And then in the case of the bullet being on the opposite side, oh wait, is that going to work? I don't think that's going to work because when the bullet is on the second half of the circle down here, it's moving in the opposite direction. So it's not just a matter of taking the X component, or is it? No, it should. I don't know. Let's see. This is kicking my butt. My circular position around the center should be something like radius. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep, that's exactly right. It's just that when you have the bullet trying to be in a perfect circle as it's moving along with the system, I just don't know if like what I'm trying to do is even possible. Okay, that looks better. Honestly, I might just leave it like this. I don't know. I just want to remove that it looks like the bullet is speeding up when it runs forward and then it slows down. I just want it to be a nice, even, like, spiral bullet traveling along very nicely, you know what I mean? And, you know, I wonder, I mean, I could just do something like turn this speed way down maybe, and that would produce probably a better result. But I'm almost positive that I've seen this kind of effect in a game where it's like, it looks like it's a perfect circle and it's just kind of like moving along in a very nice path. But I guess there's some aspect of it where it's going to have to be like, you can't really have a spiral without some of that acceleration, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Is this even helping at all, this adjustment velocity? Wouldn't the component that matters depend on the direction of the bullet's path? If you added 6 more orbs, it would show you that it's working. I'm not entirely sure. So should I just add multiple bullets? I'm getting lost. So I increased the fire rate here. Okay, that's with the adjustment velocity set to 0. Now let's do the adjustment velocity being the actual adjustment velocity here. And we'll see what happens. Oh, this is too much brain work for me. I need to... Okay, is that making it worse? Wonder if I reduce the orbit rate a little bit. It might just be a matter now of like, I wonder if I'm just trying to do something that is just fundamentally not gonna work the way that I want it to. So I might might just need to play with the numbers and get it to look good. See, that's completely wrong, right? Like that's not right at all. So that's an interesting case. So if I put this back, that was doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do. Oh, maybe, you know what? I wonder if I need to parenthesize this. Might need to parenthesize that. No, maybe not. Okay, well. That's completely wrong as well. Yeah, this is just not working. It's not working at all. That is 100% not correct. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is because it's based on the bullet speed. The overall system of the bullet, yeah. Ugh, this is, I might just need to scrap this and not have this kind of attack. I want this kind of attack, but if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. I mean, if yeah, I know what you meant. I just don't want to do the work to spawn a bunch of bullets at the same time. That's easier. That's a cool case. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a cool effect. It's just not. I don't like putting effects in my game that I don't know how to control. Like if I just left that there, it might be cool, but then I have no way of controlling it in the future. So if I wanted to adjust it or anything, it would just behave completely unpredictably. What if you try to simulate what you're looking for in an animation player? Just to see if it's possible how you want it. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, the animation player won't work like as a final solution, but yeah, I don't know. I was almost positive that this was going to work. I'm kind of baffled. I'm still not entirely understanding why what I drew out here is not working. Like, why is it not adjusting its speed? I do not understand. I wonder if what happens if I don't rotate that vector? Because the circle is not, like the operations of the circle are not happening in accordance with the direction of the bullet. So I wonder, Okay, that's not working either. That's not going to work, but I just want to see what happens. I think it was working though, it's just that there aren't enough orbs to show you visually that's a circle they're creating. It's an illusion. Well, I mean, they are orbiting in a circle, they're just not visually orbiting in a circle. If I were to set the speed to 0, they'd be orbiting in a circle, so that part's working. So like that's not working at all, but again, if I were to set the speed to 0, it works fine. So it's just a matter of accounting for that speed now to get a nice circular motion that looks like it's uniform. No, that's an oval again. And that's an oval. I mean, maybe there's a clue there. Negative args.bulletComponent.gunStats.bulletSpeed times X component. Maybe I need to make it based not on... Yeah, maybe it just needs to be solely based on the bullet speed. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Is that a circle? It looks like a circle. Okay. Now let's inject some speed into it. We're going to start off slow. We're going to give it a little bit of gas here. Give it just a little bit of gas here. We have to defeat the illusion. Yeah. I got you. We will defeat the illusion. Illusions will be sent back to the depths whence they came. Okay, that's not working. Interesting. Okay, what happens if I just get rid of the adjustment velocity then? Negative bullet speed times X component. Adjustment velocity. I mean, this is the part where I think I might need to rotate it. Let's try rotating it first. Flip that horizontally and go. Yeah, I might try that. I just want to see what happens if I rotate it now. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because it's all facing to the right, so it's going to be the same exact effect. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to not rotate anything. You said flip this sign. Flip that horizontally, whatever. Let's see. That's not working at all. Okay, I'm fundamentally not understanding something about this. What if I add the adjustment velocity there instead of here? Is that going to work? Probably not. We'll see. So it has an angle to it, needs to be vertical oval. Yeah. I feel like a spiral bullet will always seem like it has some kind of acceleration at certain points. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Okay, that's not working at all. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm just messing around now. The problem though is that it's like, it's very pronounced and I don't know why that is. Like it doesn't even end up looking like a circle. Like this does not look like a circular or a spiral thing at all. Okay, well. Let's just get rid of the adjustment velocity again. I guess it's just a matter of playing with the numbers until it looks good. I don't know. It is orbiting in a circle, it is orbiting around a point, and the point is moving, and it's just gonna look bad. Like, that just looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. But I suppose if I increased the... If I increased the degree rate back to like 360... Or I could reduce the speed. The speed is already so slow though on the system as a whole. But if I increase the rotation at 0 speed, no, it's fine at 0 speed. I just checked that a little bit ago. See, I think that's too fast for the player to dodge though. So that's too fast for the player to dodge. Enemy spiral bullet. So if I turn this back down to 180, turn this up to 64, I'll just play with it until it looks good, I suppose. It's still a little bit too fast. Still a little bit too fast. Okay, that's a little bit too slow. Freaking Goldilocks over here. Just right. All right, let's see. Yeah, see, I just don't like... It's just unbelievably not good. Hello Neozoid, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Good to see you. There's just so much stretching that's happening here. I guess I can turn the speed back down. Merry Christmas to you as well, Neozoid. How was your Christmas? What's the radius on that thing? 64. 64. Might be too much. Let's see. I mean, that's fine. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. So let's see if I can put the player direction to this again. See if that works. If radius was 16, I think that would be too small. I want the player to be able to go like inside the radius to dodge it, and 16 is just going to be too tight. Like, I want the player to be able to hang out like this, you know? Now the other problem is that it looks like it's not centered. Let me think. Maybe it is centered. Is there like a sweet spot that I can stand where I won't get hit? Yes. This is just not looking good. It's not looking right at all. I basically, like, this is just wrong from top to bottom. I want a nice circular thing like this going around and around, like a very nice corkscrew, but I can't get the bullets to work right. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. Like, I can reduce the, let's see. Reduce the spiral again. Let's do like 24, 90. That might produce a better result, but then it's not going to be as interesting to dodge. Your voice looks so desynchronized from the video. Is anyone else having that problem? It looks all right on my end. Let me see. Well, I can't really test it. You're not having that problem? Okay. It may be easier to see past the illusion. Oh, that's too... Like, why is that so big? I don't understand. This is not right at all. Okay, this is driving me mad. This is absolutely ridiculous. So, when I have a tighter radius... Why is this happening? It should be doing a full rotation within 2 seconds. Do I need to make the bullet speed faster when it's a tighter radius? Let's see. Oh, it is desynchronized? I don't know why that's happening. Let's see. If I reactivate and deactivate my video, did that work? Did that fix it? It needs to be faster. There's just, I don't know what's going on here. This seems so unbelievably complicated for what I'm trying to do. There must be something that I'm doing wrong, or like I'm just trying to do something that's fundamentally impossible. Let me just double check everything here. I mean, I see what you're saying, Pixel Porridge, but I think, I don't know if that's correct. Like, I'm trying to make a tight spiral. And nothing I'm doing is working. It's always elongated a lot when it's on the counterclockwise, when it's on the top of the circle. I mean, I guess I know that there's games that have made a nice tight circular spiral bullet pattern, and I can't even replicate that by changing these numbers, which makes me think that there's something wrong here. Also, it doesn't seem... Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. I might just cut this. If it's not possible to make it look the way I want it to look, then it might just get cut, honestly. I'll find a different interesting bullet pattern for these things. This is just looking ugly from top to bottom. Merry Christmas, my jobs. Merry Christmas to you as well. No fix. Looks worse now. Oh, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe slow down the rotation when the circular movement of the orbs aligns in the general direction of the projectile and vice versa. Yeah, I mean, that's what I tried to do for like the first 2 hours of the stream and it just wasn't working. So I don't know. Maybe this is just not possible. I'm going to turn the radius up even more. I mean, maybe this will look fine. Let's see. I guess as long as it looks fine. I mean, the thing that makes me worried, though, is I kind of wanted to make a player gun that also shoots in a spiral, but if that's going to be unreliable, then I may only use it for this enemy. See, now the bullets are going too fast because the radius. So if I turn down this to 270 instead, I think it's just a matter of playing with the numbers, I suppose. I think it's just a matter of playing with the numbers. Oh, that hit me. The other problem is it just looks misaligned, like it's not centered with the player. Oh, that hit me? How did that hit me? How are they able to reach that far away? Okay, yeah, this is not working at all. All right, well, this is on the chopping block now. That was an interesting expedition into spiral bullets, but it looks ugly. It's not working right. And I don't know if I should spend any more time on it. Let me look at something. I want to see what this does. Can we get a Ghostbuster ray gun effect instead? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, I've never seen Ghostbusters. My hot take is that 80s movies aren't good, generally speaking. Okay, that's weird. OMG, we can't be friends. Yeah. I mean, maybe this is offensive. I don't like 80s movies. I don't like classic video games. I think in both cases they tend to be relatively boring. Maybe that's just me being spoiled, I don't know. Interesting. Something is wrong here. Because what I was expecting to happen, so what I'm doing is I'm just adding the additional velocity. So I'm just adding this adjustment velocity, which is literally just, well, I guess, what happens if I get rid of this X component? I'm expecting this to end up just being stationary now. I'm trying to just make sure that the internals of my system are all working correctly so that I know that it's working the way that I want it to be. Because like, okay, yeah, so the bullet's stationary because I'm basically just subtracting the movement vector. So that works. I might have to play with this afternoon. The center of the circle moves from a point A to point B over time that an orb makes a full revolution. I guess the shape is no longer a circle. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a problem. Can you at least Google it so I don't have to explain it? Well, I don't think I'm going to do the Ghostbusters ray gun thing. I don't really have a concept of like rays. Everything's a projectile, so. But yeah, so I'm just trying to get like a nice tight spiral. That's all I'm trying to do, really. And let's see, if I turn down the degree rate here to 90, there's going to be some element of stretching. I understand that. But the problem is that the stretching that I'm getting is just, it doesn't even look like a spiral. So I don't know if that's just a matter of tweaking like that. That's not a spiral. What is this? What I want is I want it to be a nice, perfect, circular, tight spiral, regardless of what the overall speed or the rotation of the system is. Like what I want it to look like in all cases, regardless of the speeds that I set, is I want it to look like, oh, this paint is terrible. You get the point. Like, I want it to look like this in all cases, regardless of what my, oh goodness. Regardless of what the configured speeds and rotations are. So it doesn't matter how fast the bullet is moving horizontally. It doesn't matter what the, now maybe this is just an impossible task. That's also possible, because it seems like I need to modify the orbit rate. Like the orbit rate and the travel rate are going to be fundamentally related to each other in some way. So maybe it's the case that I should just adjust the orbit rate based on the travel speed and not have a configurable spiral rate. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the orbit rate needs to be based on the travel speed of the bullet itself. And those two things cannot be independently configurable, because those two things necessarily need to be related in order to produce a pattern like this. It just seems as though it's not, because it's moving on a horizontal path. In order to make it seem like it's not, the speed has to be adjusted along the path. Yeah. Do I do all the art myself? I do, the brain. I do. Welcome to the stream. Or were you already here? I think you already were here. Well, welcome to the stream anyway. Gotta go for now. Have to watch the VOD. I'm sad. Well, that's fine, Neozoid. That's why the VODs are available for you. Exactly, yeah. So I think that's what I need to do. So now I need to do some math to figure out like how to get the orbit rate to adjust such that like there's a certain distance between, like here's this distance, right? So there's a certain amount of horizontal distance that needs to be covered between, well, I guess it would be easier to do this, right? There's a certain amount of horizontal distance here that represents the time in which a full revolution needs to happen. These are not evenly, this is not drawn to scale. It's like those math tests. Figure not drawn to scale, right? But basically, this is the amount of horizontal distance that's going to be covered during one full rotation. And so I basically just need to say, what is the distance that I want the spiral to be? Distance between revolutions, right? So let's try that. So let's do export private float distance between revolutions. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I need to determine how long it's going to take for the bullet to travel that distance. So, so we need the speed. Actually, I think I can just use the steady direction dot length, but that's fine. So var speed, so that's my speed. So var time to cover distance is equal to distance between revolutions divided by speed, right? And then the var degree rate needs to be equal to 360 divided by the time. Is that right? Yeah. So there's my degree rate there. I don't need this adjustment velocity. Okay, so is this going to create the spiral that I want? Let's see. How does your, Dina, how does your look like that? Is there a way to theme it? If you're talking about Godot, yeah, there's editor settings. If you go to theme, you can change the base color and accent color. That's all I've done here for that. But yeah, back to my example. If a path speed is 5, the orb needs to be going 10. If it's on the left side of the path origin, if it's on the right side, it should be 0, or however that works with your math. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've been here watching a slight delay. Gotcha. By path, I guess I mean system speed. Right. Okay, yeah, I got you. Hopefully that theme helps. Yeah, Godot does support custom themes. I just changed the colors because that was easy to do. I just stole the colors from the Dracula theme. Don't tell anyone. But anyway, so if I go to my enemy spiral bullet here, distance between revolutions. Let's just try a half a tile. So every half a tile, I wanted to do a full revolution. That's probably going to move, like spin very fast if I'm correct. But I can also reduce the speed. Okay, well, I'm getting the tight spiral that I want. So I think what I need to do then is just... I mean, I can always turn down the bullet speed here, make it move at a snail's pace, and I can also turn up the distance between. So let's do 32. So the spiral is going to speed up based on the speed of the bullet. Okay, I think that's working. The bullets are going to be relatively long-lived, but I can probably just move that up a little bit. It's fine that the bullets are long-lived, as long as it gets a good spiral for me. I've been obsessed with this for some reason. Okay, that looks good. Now there are some issues here. Does the spiral look centered along the player direction? Does this look right? I guess it does. If I draw sort of like a horizontal line here. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't want the bullet to start moving downward though. I want it to start at the top, I think. So I just need to adjust the initial angle, I think, but that should work. So now what happens if I go back to the original attack pattern that I had, which was, what? 1.5 to 2.25? I think that's going to work. Okay, it only took several hours, but I think it's fine now. So it looks a little bit bunched up here, and those bullets are lasting a very long time. I may ultimately end up changing either the speed or the max range, but when the player is moving around, it's going to be a different story. It needs to be slow enough where the player can adequately dodge these things. Like I should be able to weave in and out of here. They're a little bit too long-lived. So I'm going to up the speed again to 40, and then I'll adjust the distance between the tiles as necessary to slow that back down again. It just needs to expire faster, that's all. Distance between revolutions, let's do 48. See if that slows it back down enough. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's basically what I was going for. Like, there's definitely some acceleration that happens sort of on the rotation of the bullet. Like, obviously it's going to slow down when it's going under, but it's not, I mean, it's looking more like what I wanted it to look like, so that's good. And now I have control over how tight those spirals are. So I could create something more elongated and goofy if I wanted to. And the rotation speed is going to be dictated by how many revolutions I want to happen over a certain distance. Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's good. That's it, bro. That's the pattern. Yeah, Firebelly 1, Illusion 0. Yeah, this game thought it could defeat me. Whatever. Whatever, man. Ain't no defeating this. Actually, that was kind of pathetic how long that took, but it's fine. We all learn things. I'm not very good with math. I've been wanting to do like, there's a bunch of high quality like vector math courses. Oh, I need distance between revelations, degree radius. Oh, I still have control over the radius too. Oh, I still have control over the radius. Do I want to? Well, I'm not going to worry about that. But I've been wanting to take like a high quality vector math course because I took linear algebra in college, and I kid you not, we got through, in the entire semester, we got through one chapter in our linear algebra book because the professor never showed up. So I'm glad I didn't actually spend the money for that. So I'm glad I didn't spend money for that class. But I don't have any, my linear algebra skills are basically only refined to the point that I can do basic stuff in game engine. But I wish I knew more about matrices and how to leverage those. I bet that would be like a level up, you know, understanding how all that stuff works at an intimate level. But let's see. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'm actually going to play with the radius. I want to see what happens if I bump up that radius here to like 100. I just want to make sure that the math is all still working the way I expect it to. Hello, Eric Grove. I haven't been able to join in a while. Glad things are progressing. Hope you had a good Christmas. I did have a good Christmas. Thank you, Eric. I hope you did as well. I'm better at troubleshooting than I am at math, yeah. I think that radius is working for sure, though. So that's cool. Wait, so if it's radius. So I might even, let me try this. I might even try turning this radius down to 32, because I think that's going to slow it down even more, right? Because if it's got a smaller radius, it's going to be moving slower along the edges of the circle. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. That's what I'm going for. It's got enough space where I can weave in and out of it, but it's slow enough where, you know, I can anticipate where the bullet's going to end up going. There's something weird happening here. That's what I was saying earlier. I think you have thought I meant diameter. Gotcha, yeah. I remember now. It's hard to keep up with the chat and also keep my train of thought going. So apologies if I misunderstand things. All right, I think that's working. It would be kind of cool if this little witch gnome thing had like a blink ability instead of a traditional movement. So it could just blink near you and start shooting bullets, like more of like a turret rather than an actual moving enemy. I think that would be really fun. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, do like a blink effect instead of just blink somewhere near the player. Like maybe have it blink like roughly this distance away from the player, and then it just sits there and just channels and keeps going, like shooting these annoying spiral bullets, and then it will occasionally also just blink to a different location near the player. So instead of having regular old movement speed, it becomes more of like an annoying turret that you have to deal with. I like that. I like that. And then if you get too close to him or her or whatever, she will blink away, or could even blink behind you. So you're shooting, go, 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 and then she teleports behind you. Nothing personnel, kid. You're good. I'm loud. I repeat myself. No, that's fine. I appreciate it. It's nice to have people to bounce troubleshooting and different ideas off of. It's like rubber duck programming, except it's a person instead of a rubber duck, right? Which is always better. All right, so Void Arena, it's fine. Okay, add spiral bullet attack to Gnome. Okay, well, I did not get as far as I wanted to on this stream with the Gnome, but I learned a lot. I learned how to make a spiral bullet pattern effectively, which only took a couple hours of trudging through, but you know, those little kinds of failures that you experience are necessary and good. So you shouldn't get too salty about not being able to do something, because ultimately you'll learn at least what not to do. So I learned both what not to do, and for any future game, I know the general approach that I should take first if I wanted to do a spiral bullet pattern. So very, very useful stream, very instructive stream. And hopefully you out there who are watching live or are watching the VOD, hope you found my struggles useful as well. Maybe that will just accelerate your ability to do something similar, because I encountered all the pitfalls for you. So anyway, that's going to be it for the stream. Yeah, it's on my tool belt now for sure. Yeah. Yep. That's how I've always thought about skill sets as well. It's like, you know, it's not necessarily about how much you know, it's about the tools that you accumulate. And then as you accumulate more tools, you have more and more specialized things to apply in specific scenarios, right? So it's like the opposite of when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Like, well, you got a hammer and you've got a screwdriver and you've also got a ruler and a protractor. Like, you just keep getting this collection of things, which makes you more and more of a sophisticated developer in terms of being able to apply specific tools to specific scenarios. So that's the way I think about it too. So it's interesting that you said that. But anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. It was a lot of fun, as always, and I will definitely be back streaming tomorrow. So same time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can help me out. I've got my Udemy courses available for sale, and you can also wishlist this game Gunforged on Steam, which is going to be releasing very soon. All right. Thank you, Defected, and thank you everyone else who participated, and all the lurkers and everyone who is watching this now or in the future. I appreciate your support, and I will see you